This video is sponsored by Squarespace. You can make your own beautiful website or online store with this all-in-one platform. Hi everyone, in this video I'm filling a page in my sketchbook, getting close to finishing it, not really. I don't know why this one is taking me so long to fill. I thought about making a video that was called can I finish my sketchbook this year, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that because I don't think it's possible. I only think I'm just past the halfway point. There must be a lot of pages in these Royal Talons art creation sketchbooks. I think more pages than I thought. And I thought it would be fun to just color in this page of random scribbly doodles that I did. I recently moved and this was one of the first things I drew after moving. So I thought it'd be fun to just color it on camera, just get loose with the color and not care too much about details and just sort of warm up with it and get back into sketching and drawing after moving. And I am also going to show my new studio, eventually a new studio tour, but it's definitely a work in progress for the next few weeks, but probably before the year ends or early next year, I will show a final tour, or maybe I'll do a work in progress tour to show you where it's at and then a final one. I don't know. I feel like just keeping it to one video would be a good idea too. I also recently opened up my shop again. It was closed for a while I moved. And a few days after closing my shop, Canada Post went on strike, which means that I cannot send out any packages and nothing will be shipped. Anything that's already in the system is being held until the strike is over, and it's already been almost 2 weeks of the strike. I don't blame the workers at all. It's just Canada Post, the company, has not met the workers' needs, and they can't really come to an agreement. And I don't think the bargaining is going well yet. So I really hope that gets resolved soon because it's really taking an impact on small businesses here in Canada. Each small business is sort of approaching this differently. For me, in my shop, I am accepting orders, but with the condition that they will not be shipped until the strike is over. So there are potential for some big delays. But if people are comfortable waiting, then they are able to still place an order in my shop. And I have a sale going on right now, the winter sale, 15% off everything for 2 weeks, starting when the sale started, which was November 27th. So if people want to take advantage of the sale, they can, but who knows when the strike will be over. I can't see it lasting that long, honestly, because the holidays are the busiest time of year for parcel delivery and letter mail and all that stuff. So I really can't see it lasting too long. I feel it's already been a really long time though. So it has to be approaching a resolution at some point, I really hope. But for this sketchbook page, I really wanted to use my Acrylic markers as usual. I prefer using the water-based ones because they don't bleed through the page in my sketchbook. And then I can lay different media on top, like the Caran d'Ache pastels that I'm using, pencil crayons, Tombow brush pens for more detail work. And I just kind of let myself be very free with this page because I haven't sketched in a while. I've been very busy moving and I just wanted to draw some frogs, a cat, some flowers, some foliage, just the usual comfort zone stuff because I think that's a really good way to get back into sketching after not drawing for a while. I didn't use any references for this page. I just kind of took a pencil, opened it up, and just doodled whatever came to mind for 20 minutes. And then I was like, okay, maybe I'll film this for the video. And I think some of them turned out pretty cute for a sketchbook page. I did a lot of push and pull with acrylic markers and I painted over areas and shaped it with the acrylic and with the pastels. And it was pretty fun. I think I overworked some areas, but I'm trying to not be too critical about this page. I don't want to be too critical about my sketchbook. Of course, it's hard to not be too critical when you're literally filming your entire sketchbook page for people to watch the process of, but I tried to practice what I preach and not be too critical of myself when it's a sketchbook page and let things be messy, not try to make things look perfect, but also slow down when I feel like it and focus on details when I feel is necessary. Now for a break to thank this video's sponsor, which is Squarespace. If you are looking to start your own business, perhaps in the new year, or you want to start selling stuff online, or you just need a place to host a blog or all of your portfolio images if you're an artist like me, Squarespace might be a great fit for you. You don't have to start from scratch. They actually have an entire catalog of templates that you can pick as a starting off point, and then you can customize them even further to suit your specific needs. If you are an artist like me and you want to use Squarespace for your portfolio, I'd recommend just using one of their portfolios and galleries block in your website. You add it onto your page, upload all your images, and you can rearrange them how you see fit, adjust the margins in the grid, and the automatic image scaling will display all your pieces beside each other nicely. If you'd like to try out Squarespace for yourself, go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your website, go to squarespace.com/JelArts to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Sometimes I'm doing these pages and I suddenly remember that I have acrylic markers, because acrylic markers are so fun to use in your sketchbook. They're such a quick and easy way to add an opaque layer of color on top of your sketches. If you're just using marker, you can't really make areas lighter with marker. You can only make areas darker. And if you're using watercolor, you can pretty much only make layers darker as well, unless you're using white watercolor, which is involved in certain techniques that I don't particularly do. But if you made a tiny little mistake that you want to correct, acrylic markers are great for that. This is not sponsored by them. They sent them to me a long time ago and I already did a whole video about them, but these are the Artx acrylic markers. And I just use them all the time because I just like using acrylic markers in my sketchbook. I wish I had more colors though, because I think there's a couple of gaps in the color range. Like, because you're not mixing your own colors, you're limited to what is already inside the box. And sometimes they don't have the particular color that I want. So I kind of wish there was like a huge range of colors, like maybe like over 100, but that would be so many markers to have on hand. And then I'd be worried that the paint would eventually dry out, because some of them are already kind of drying out. Most of them are not, but a couple colors are drying out and I don't think I've used them that much. So I'm not sure. But I just kept adding like layers of different color on this little cat and just like rendering it further and further and just like adding stuff wherever I saw fit and trying not to overwork it, let certain areas stay loose, but also just like having fun with it and just getting back into putting pencil to paper, or putting marker to paper, I should say. I also started drawing some dogs and it made me realize how much I love drawing dogs. Like, I already knew that, but it's so fun to just draw a little dog head. Like, I just think there's something so like graceful about them, especially the dogs that have like the longer noses. There's just something so like fun about drawing the like simplicity of the shape of their nose and like adding little ears and adding like fur textures. There's just something really fun about that. And I should definitely do a spread of dog sketches in my sketchbook sometime. I think that'd be a lot of fun, because there's only like a couple on this page, and there's a lot of frogs because frogs are my comfort zone. They're my comfort animal, and I'm always trying to find new ways of like stylizing them and drawing them, because I feel like I haven't like totally nailed down the way I want to draw them. I feel that way about everything though. Like, I don't feel like I've nailed down the perfect way to draw anything. So it's really fun to like continuously explore my style and how I like to simplify things, especially in finished illustrations. That's not to say I don't like my art. It's just like fun to keep on like pushing your style and like seeing what you can try next. And I think a good way to do this is to just not really look at references and just draw from your brain and try to like stretch your imagination of like how things can look and the shapes of things, and like don't be afraid to take risks. I saw a reel today where the audio said something along the lines of, in order to be creative, you need to be in a state of play. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Like, if you're too focused on the details, you're worried about making things look perfect instead of making like interesting things to begin with. Like, if you get caught up in the technicalities, you might miss out on the like overall big picture and like all the possibilities you could be exploring, instead of zoning in on tiny details that don't actually matter. And I think that's really true for like looser sketchbook spreads. Like, sometimes quantity is more important than quality, especially in a sketchbook. Like, the more thumbnails and sketches you do, the more ideas you're probably going to come up with. If the idea isn't good, it's going to be harder to execute it. And you can add as many details as you want, but if the idea itself is lacking, no amount of details is going to make it look good. So just like drawing a lot of different stuff and not being afraid of things looking bad. Like, seriously, don't be afraid of things looking bad. That's how you will be able to discover new things to draw and better ideas and just like be more creative and more free in your sketchbook. I should really do that more often because I definitely get caught up in the details. I definitely got caught up in the details on this page where I kept like repainting areas and trying to make them look a certain way. I didn't really need to be doing that. Like I could have moved on and tried to explore like some more interesting ideas instead of rendering the ones that were in front of me. But it's not like I was trying to create an illustration. I was just sort of messing around in my sketchbook. There's really no right or wrong way. I was like thinking about that audio that I heard while doing this page. And I always say it's near the end of the sketchbook page where I start to loosen up more and I start to kind of enjoy what is happening on the page. Like the sketches that I do more quickly and loosely are the ones that I end up liking the most. Like I just really like the way I drew the dog face on the left. I just like the simplicity of it, and I kind of wanted to like take that style and do like a bigger sketch with it and just see if I can stick to the simplicity of that and then add little details here and there. So it's like sparse details with like a simple outlined silhouette shape. The tiny little sketches that take 5 seconds or 10 seconds or 30 seconds can sometimes look way better than the ones that took me like 5 minutes. And that's the power of warming up. I have a whole video about that. And I also just really like the way that the markers look on top of pencil crayon. I don't think that's good for markers to do, but I like the way it looks, so I'm torn. I just like how it sort of blends some of the waxiness around the page. There's just so many different ways you can use every supply. It feels like the possibilities are endless and like there's not enough paper in the world to explore all of those possibilities. I hope you enjoyed this video of me just honestly just messing around on a page, just like brain dumping sketches, not worrying about the quality, just trying to like make some cute stuff on a page that I can look back at later and shake out the cobwebs a little bit. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know which little messy doodle is your favorite one, and you might see a spoiler for the next video that I already filmed beside this page. So if you see that, let me know what you saw. It's going to be November's Patreon package. Is going to be about frogs, which I have yet to do because I just moved and it's been so busy. So that will probably be a little bit delayed, but honestly, like everything is getting delayed because of the Canada Post strike, so please bear with me if you're a current patron. Thanks again for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.